Hello and welcome to 15 Minute Gamer. My name is Tony and this is Call of Duty World War II. If you can't tell, I'm still ill. Oh, this is dragging on. But luckily it meant I could play this game all weekend and get it completed and now bring you a review. So it did have its positives. So yes, before we start, as normal, let's look at what the Steam page says. I think Activation have to be the laziest description putter up as ever. I don't know. But Call of Duty World War II returns to its roots with a breathtaking experience that redefines World War II for a new gaming generation. That's all it is. Yeah, so when this game was first announced and it was like, oh, boots on the ground, back to its roots, I was quite excited, to be fair. I saw the trailer, I was like, ooh, that's interesting. Then I played Infinite Warfare and I was like, oh no, my god, I like the future, I like sci-fi, don't go back to World War II. And I went back to World War II. How did the do going back on the ground? Mixed. I think mixed is the best way to put it. For everything that I like, I find something I don't like. For every bit of the mission design that I like, I find something that I don't like. And it's that sort of love-hate relationship with this game. I started off hating it, I then liked it, and then ended up kind of in the middle of hating it and liking it yet again. So we'll start with some of the good points, and this is the first mission. It's the D-Day landings, and how gorgeous does that look? How incredible are the graphics on there? I mean, unbelievable. Like, it actually looks like you're watching a film on this bit. I mean, there's some very dodgy shadows, and when this water comes up, it looks a little bit dodgy in parts, but overall, just absolutely incredible. In this game, all the way through, the graphics look amazing. Like, you'll see in cutscenes of sweat dripping off them, and when you're playing, it just looks, the lighting effects are brilliant. The flamethrowers when they're going off just look great. The explosions look good. It is just such a beautiful looking game. But we can't just concentrate on all the good things. I'm going to mention one bad thing here. You can see that I am not controlling any of this. The game is telling me what to look at, and this is just, I don't want to go into too negatives at the moment, but just to show you, this is what this game is like, and this is why it has a big negative. It ruins the immersion constantly because it doesn't let you do any of this. It tells me where I want to look. It tells me what I should be seeing. It takes control off you constantly to have a quick time event or a cutscene or whatever. It doesn't let you play. Like, I still have not controlled any of this game yet. And the most exciting bit about the D-Day landing in any game in the past has been that build-up. It's that, oh, we're all sitting in the boat, what the hell is going to happen? I think I get control just in a second. Here we go, here we go, here we go. And now I have control. And that was always the build-up, and then it's when the door dropped, it was like, my god, there's bullets flying in everywhere. That's what made it so good. And look, it's ripped away control me already. I just made it on the beach. I've been on the beach for 1 second. It's when, nah, you don't want to take control. We need to show you people on fire. We need to show you some of his leg hanging off. It's like, no, if I want to see that sort of thing, I'll look around and see it. Don't tell me what I'm looking at. Like, it just ruins the immersion, and the game does that a lot throughout. It just ruins the... Oh, sorry if I have to keep stopping that. I've got a really bad cold. It just ruins that. Yeah, like, you're there. You don't feel like you're there. In games done this better 10 years ago with, like, Bad Company, Medal of Honor, the original Call of Duties. If you haven't noticed, I've actually sped this up. It's not that quick. It's just that I just want to kind of show you how short this bit is, and I would have liked to see this play more of a part. I would have liked to see a bit more character progression before it started as well. So it kind of gives the characters by a cutscene where it's like, here's so-and-so, here's so-and-so. I would have loved to have seen like a boot camp or something. Like maybe your friends were at boot camp with you on, and then it suddenly dropped you into war. I think that would be really good, but then it kind of done this cutscene and then didn't give you control until you're on the beach. In this level, if you go off-piste at any time, just goes, nah, we're going to shoot you. And it does that quite a lot this game as well. It's very contrived and very corridory to where it wants you to go and what it wants you to do. And there's a clip coming up later on, which when I show you, you'll just be like, what the hell, to what this game kind of does. So yeah, back to the graphics, because I've explained that. Yeah, the graphics are very good. There are some negatives to the graphics, like there's terrible shadow and clipping issues. Physics can be a bit wonky, and like there's a bit where you're in Paris and you could walk through tables and chairs like they weren't there, and little things like that again just ruin that immersion just a little bit, which is such a shame. When we're talking a little bit about some more of the negatives, the AI, oh god, on both sides is terrible. You'll quite often be the only person, there'll be 5 or 6 of you in a level running around, and you're the only person that can kill everyone. They'll shoot each other from a foot away and miss. All the AI attack you, the dogs go for you, they don't go for your colleagues. The soldiers always run towards you and shoot you. There is like pre-arranged sections where you'll see a German soldier attacking one of your colleagues, you've got to hit them or shoot them to get them off your colleague, otherwise the colleague dies. And that's another feature where it's contrived. They just go for you, they're aiming for you, they're shooting for you, they'll throw grenades at you. That's what the AI does, and your comrades, very rarely they help me out of a sticky situation. I must admit, usually it's all down to you. There's also this is a nice little feature where, and it just didn't happen enough, where you have to actually drag injured comrades away into safety. And another nice little feature I would have liked to see implemented a little bit more. It does happen maybe once per level, but I would like to see it just a tad more. Back to a positive is the weapons. It has two of my favourite guns, which is the sniper rifle. The sniping in this game is really good. It makes you feel like you're the best sniper in the world. You'll be pulled off shots, and they're really satisfying because you hear boop, and then you just hear pop as their head explodes, and it's so good. Then the second weapon is this shotgun, which has incendiary ammo in, which sets people on fire. It is so cool. Watch this. Boom, boom. Missed twice, didn't miss a third. Straight in the face. That gun is so good. You get it a few times during the game, and I just absolutely loved it. I loved the sniper in this game, and I loved that weapon. There's also some really good, like the BARs and the SV12 or SV10, I think it's called. And all the weapons pick up a bully. You know, if like an enemy drops a weapon, you can go and pick it up. And there's always a good choice of weapons around for whatever style of player, or they'll do the usual convenient thing, like if there's a sniper bit coming up, it'll have 10 sniper rifles lying around, but you can like pick up the machine guns and detach them and so forth. You'll see that people surrender in here. Another good feature that's not quite implemented enough is enemies will surrender to you, but it happens so rarely. I saw it maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the whole game. And what they do is surrender, go, don't shoot me, and like show you pictures of their friends and family and stuff. And what you gotta do is go up to them and hold L2, I think it is, and it kind of does that. This one doesn't quite work, but what was really cool about it, like I was taking time, he's surrendering and so forth, and I went to surrender, he put out a gun and went to shoot me, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that's scripted. But then the next time I did it, because I restarted it because I got killed, they just give up, and then I tried shooting them and it failed. But yeah, I again wish that happened a little bit more. I would have loved to see that side of war. Could you choose if you want to shoot them or get them alive or injured? Would you put them out of misery or commit a war crime or pull them to safety? Or, you know, I would love to see that mechanic explode a little bit more. Moving on to a negative is, oh, this Jeep section is terrible. The vehicle, apart from the flying one, are terrible. You drive a tank and you drive a few Jeeps. I didn't enjoy any of them. In typical Call of Duty, it always seems to have a Jeep section or a running away from something section, like running away from a tank or something. And I think they're exciting, but I find them hugely frustrating. They're usually very badly scripted. Like, oh, look, there's a tank. Oh, look, there's a soldier. Oh, look, there's a thing. In this one, like, he's driving like this and then hands control over to his friend to go and take over the gun. So he'll jump on the gun. Why doesn't his friend go on the gun? Like, it's just like, oh, well, we'll give this player something else to do, so we'll put him on the gun. Yeah, and also this why I've got this on screen now. The set pieces are becoming so predictable after playing so many Call of Duty games that when you were chasing this train down, I was like, I know what's going to happen here. It's going to put the car in front of it, and it's going to crash. And exactly did that. There's a bit coming up in the bell tower. Oh, we're in a bell tower. What's going to happen to the bell tower, I wonder? Might it get blown up? Yeah, we've not seen that in the game before. And again, it's unpredictable Call of Duty. And I think I was again hoping to kind of move a little bit away from these Jeep sequences and these set pieces that we've seen before. I was hoping for a little bit more, especially with being World War II. Like, I think they could have really done with some really different times of set pieces and different types. And yeah, I would have liked to seen a little bit more. The game will also does plenty of them. Oh, I'm dazed and I've got to find a gun before the enemy does, or get a cover or whatever. It does that so many times. And sometimes you're like shooting and firing, and there'll be a rocket from nowhere, and you're like, where did that come from? But it's because it needs to knock you back to get into the next part of the scripted cutscene it wants you to do. So yeah, it's a little bit of a negative for me. Again, another positive here is this mission is really good. And this is where the game takes a turn. This is where the game moves into a game that I enjoyed. I wouldn't say really enjoyed. I wouldn't say want to keep playing. It was just, it became from a rubbish game that I wasn't enjoying to a okay to a good game. Like, I was a bit like, ooh, okay, this is interesting. This one here, you're undercover spy, and you've got to like read your portfolio of why you're there and what you're doing, and then you get asked questions as you go around. You got to answer the right questions. Again, just not implemented as good as it could have been. I would have loved to have seen a massive cover story, having to remember loads of details and getting stopped and stuff like that. But the scripting's really good in this part. The acting's really good. It's really tense in parts as well. It's a really good mission. And after this, the game does get a little bit better as well. So this is the turning point in the game for me, where it became a game that I actually started to enjoy in part. This is the best vehicle section by far. Look how gorgeous it looks. It looks incredible. You got to escort some fighters, and some bombers, and you got to take down the enemy fighters. So yeah, it's just one of them moves. I really enjoyed this mission. Probably one of the better missions in the game, apart from that sneaking around spy one. You'll jump on turrets again. This game is very turret heavy. There's a flat cannon you jump on, and to put the negative spin on it again, like, there's just like 20 planes to shoot down, or if not more. And it's kind of a little bit like, oh, we just had to put this in here just to kill some time while you protect the bridge or whatever. And I would like seeing that again, better implemented. This mission was really good. I would have been happy if there was more of this. So yeah, it's the airplane. And what this does is you're on the ground doing part of a mission, and then the game's like, right, we need some help here. So you get on the radio to get some help, and it's about the plane coming to help you. So you're like taking over the plane, then doing that bit of the mission. I would have again loved to see that just gone a little bit further, like you flying back towards where the mission was carrying on, and then like done all the bombing runs and stuff on there. That would have been incredible. Then like back on the ground when everyone's celebrating, I thought that might have been really good. In this tank section again, you're asking for help, and I was kind of like excited to be in a tank, but because the mission area is so tight, because it's in city, and basically just fighting two panzers, and you're just driving round and 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 round circles, getting behind them. And again, not very well implemented. And when you get the bit when you get to the team that you're supposed to rescue, it then drops you out the tank. I would have loved to have just had a little bit more of these missions, a little bit more fought, a little bit less by the book. So yeah, I'm going to put that down as a little bit of a negative. But this is, as I said, this is where the game does get a little bit better, because you do some different types of missions. That is one where you got to carry a young girl, and this is the bit of the mission where I was told, watch this missile here, because it doesn't want you to destroy that that machine gun. Look, it actually physically can't hit the building. Look, it'll fire and shoot off to the right, and before shot off to the left. Isn't that really bad? And the game does that quite a lot. If it doesn't want you to go off to a certain area, it'll make sure you die, or get shot or killed or return to the battle area. And yeah, I think like if you've got a rocket launcher and you're firing towards a minigun, it should just let you destroy it, even if it hits and doesn't take it out. And there was several times, like there's a bit where there's a sniper in the tower and you try and take it out, but you can't take it out until you get behind them and up close. But I had a straight shot on them, but the game didn't want you to kill them at that point, which is a little bit of a shame. So yeah, sound design, graphics, good. I really enjoyed the sound design, graphics. Second half of the game is much better. The story's alright. You kind of follow a guy who is a raw recruit in the army, and, you know, by the second half, that's when it gets better, because he's kind of questioning moral decisions. The sergeant goes off the rails, and he's drinking heavily and trying to get you discharged. He doesn't like you, and you're questioning his decision making and stuff like that. And that's when the game just gets that little bit better, is in that second half. What I don't like is what I've just mentioned all there before. There's some, the AI is terrible, there's some graphically inconsistent things that don't quite take it as much. I would have liked to seen a lot more gritty World War. If you're not going to go gritty, because it didn't quite go gritty enough for me, I would like to maybe seen a little bit of humour thrown in, a little bit of fun thrown in, a little bit of tongue-in-cheek type thing. But it didn't kind of hit that serious tone for me. Like, there's a bit at the end, won't spoil it, but it kind of just wasn't quite there for me. It could have done a lot more with that end piece. It was a nice little way to end the game, but it could have done a bit more. And one really positive, just to end before I talk about zombies, is health regen and the way you get ammo and stuff. Your colleagues give you health, and they'll carry health packs around with you. Your health doesn't regen. You have to take cover, use a first aid kit, and build your health back up. And that is a big plus. I did like that. And also they carry armor. They'll sight baddies for you. A little market, because of course people have to see through walls and see behind things now to see enemies. They can't just guess where they are. And, you know, they can call in mortar strikes and give you grenade packs and stuff. I quite like that idea that your squad wasn't just a squad. They were there to help you as well, to offer you supplies and medical and stuff like that. So, yeah, that does get a big thumbs up. So finally, this is zombies. There's not much to say about this. You know what zombies is. You basically run around shooting Nazi zombies in the face with a shotgun, earning points, and you go around. However, what they've done this time is actually made it friendly for single player. So there's auto revive and stuff like that. And I got to about level 12, 13, which would never happen previously. And again, it falls on for the graphics, the gameplay, the gunplay. So yeah, zombies mode is a lot of fun. I would highly recommend that. And it's even fun on your own now. So I didn't want to talk about zombies too much because there's not much to talk about, to be fair. So, in summing up, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really conflicted with this game. Some parts I really enjoy, some parts I didn't enjoy, and the next part I don't enjoy, the next part I did enjoy, the next part, meh, the next part, yay. So, could I recommend this game? I really don't know. I can't give you an answer almost. It's too hard to say yes to. At full retail price, probably not. If you can get it in a sale, or you know, if you get it in a present, I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. And if you haven't played these Medal of Honors and these old CODs before, you'll probably be like, oh my god, World War II is great. If you have played them sort of games before, you'll probably be like, oh god, they've done this better before, this isn't very good. So yeah, my recommendation is kind of like a sideways thumb. Nah, you might enjoy it, you may hate it. It's going to be totally down to personal preference on this one. But overall, I thought it was an alright game. And that's about it. And I'll catch you later on. Goodbye.